Broadcasting live across the southern plains from the tornado bunker in the McRoof World Headquarters, the McRoof Radio Network brings you home repair McRoof style. I'm Rick Allen Lippert, here with restoration specialist and Hall of Fame remodeler Scott McCullum. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning, Mr. Rick.
And let's see, Retro Radio Randy has the day off again, but he'll be back next week on the other side of the curtain. That's where I am today, sitting in my seat, McRoof.us meteorologist Dion Markham. Hello, Dion.
Good morning.
You'll have the Southern Plains weather for us later this week later today.
Yes, sir.
I probably should have talked before the show started. Act one of the show today, we'll start with our trivia question and the tool of the week, which is not yet posted on the Home Repair McRoof Style Facebook page, but I will before the end of the day. And as always, we're taking your home repair questions. That number is 405-656-5868. Excuse me. In Act 2 of the show, we'll have our What Were They Thinking segment. Scott, you have the title here.
Myrtle, that decking is soft as butter.
Then in Act 3, we'll have our After the Storm tip, and we'll wrap up with some very wise words from Scott's dad. Coming back from breaks, we'll have some really obscure historical trivia. I'd like you to know that the McRoof Radio Network includes KOKC in Oklahoma City, KNSS in Wichita, and KALV in Alva. You can also hear us on the iHeartRadio and Odyssey apps, and we're live streaming the show on the Home Repair McRoof Style YouTube channel. You can go ahead and subscribe while you're there. Wherever you are, you can call us at 405-656-5868. All right, Scott, let's get on with the trivia question, shall we?
Okay, here we go. So in what year were asphalt shingles invented? In what year were asphalt shingles invented?
That's a great question and a toughie.
Well, you know, we talk about CertainTeed has been around since 1904, so that might be a little hint for folks that it might be before 1904.
Okay. All right then. So while we're waiting on someone to call in with that date of when asphalt shingles were invented, let's get on with the tool of the week. Now, you sent this to me this morning and said it was on the Home Depot website. I could not find this particular model, so I found it on Amazon.
Okay. All right. Well, that's fine. This is the Werner MT13 300-pound duty rating telescoping multi-ladder. These are the kinds of ladders that all of my folks carry around in the back of their cars, the back of their pickups, because when you telescope them all the way down, they're, 3 feet tall maybe.
Right.
Fit nicely in the back of a little SUV or something like that, and really, really great tools. This is something that we all use every single day. I think you found them on Amazon at $224. I thought it was amazing when I was searching this morning. The difference in the price at Home Depot versus the difference at the price at Home Depot online.
Oh, really?
There was a $50 difference between the two online this morning. The online store was $50 less than the in-store. I thought that was interesting. So maybe it was a typo or something else. But anyway.
So the MT13 comes from being 13 feet tall
13 feet tall when extended out. That's correct. So that would be an appropriate ladder for about a 10-foot eave height. Okay. Anything above a 10-foot eave height, then you're going to need a longer ladder. I think that would be the 16 or the 20 that you're going to have to go to, because you wouldn't have enough ladder extending above as you step off onto the roof.
Yeah.
So, these are great. And these are the ladders. A lot of people call these A-frame ladders because, of course, you can leave them folded in that A-frame form.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, of course, it's only going to be half as tall as whatever that 13 feet is. So
Yeah.
in this case, it'd be a 6.5 foot ladder in an A-frame. So.
Well, I don't know what the model number is of the Werner folding ladder that I have at home, but I have one that a multi, it can extend and it can do the A-frame, and I've used it for years. I love it.
Yeah, the one thing I will tell people, if you're buying one of these ladders and you're using it around the house or something, you're probably never going to wear the ladder out. I will tell you that with the day-to-day consistent and frequent use that we get with the ladders, the little latches that you pull out when you
Right.
telescope the ladder and then slide it into the position you want it, and then those latches go back inside to lock you into place.
Yeah.
Those will begin to get a little loose and perhaps even bent, under really heavy use. So if you ever get to the point where you've got any problems with those latches, that really is your safety device on these ladders. You need to probably think about taking it back and seeing if they'll replace it or buying yourself a new ladder. So if you've got latching problems on this, it could be dangerous.
Let me ask you about another kind of ladder.
Sure.
When I first saw the word telescoping, what I thought this was going to be was one that didn't fold and give you the A-frame look, but one that just truly telescopes up.
And Scotty carries that ladder around. The thing that I don't like about that ladder personally, that
Okay.
ladder is so heavy.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, he's got one that telescopes out, I think, to maybe 24 feet.
Oh, well, yeah.
And when that ladder is fully compressed and you've got your Velcro straps around it and you reach down to pick that thing up, I mean, maybe I'm getting old, but it's more than I want to tote around with me.
I think you're right on both
The
counts.
little A-frame ladder, the little A-frame ladder from Werner is a lot lighter than that is.
Okay.
So,
All right.
okay.
All right, so the trivia question still hanging out there. In what year were asphalt shingles invented?
Yep.
And so that number, if you think you know that answer, 405-656-5868. Hey, folks, you know what time it is now?
This is McRoof.us staff meteorologist Dion Markham bringing you Southern Plains weather this week. It will be on the warm side throughout most of the Southern Plains with mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies with a slight chance of rain towards the end of the week. Temperatures will range from the low 80s to the mid 90s through most of the region. Have a great week, Southern Plains, and stay safe.
Hey, Dion, I heard that Wichita Falls, Texas had a pretty significant hailstorm last night. Do you know anything about that?
Yes, I
Okay.
do.
Tell me about it. How big
Well,
was it?
It was more than 2 inches.
Okay, and did it last? What I was told was that
It happened in the middle of the
middle of the night,
Night.
and people said it lasted for a long time. A lot of the hail events will come, and man, you hear that ping,
About-
ping, ping, or that banging on your windows or on your skylights or something like that, and it's over with before you even get up out of bed to go see what's going on. This one apparently lasted a long time. We look at hailstorms are rated by our weather services and our hail trackers as class 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 events, with 5 being the most significant. And this particular event in the Wichita Falls, Texas area was rated as a Category 5 event. So it must have been fairly severe hail down there. So anyway, we had a great week weather-wise around here. I think you
Yes.
did a good job. You did
Yes.
a good job, Dion. You let us get some work done for a change. So that was really, really nice. I know that I was surprised when I woke up in the middle of the night on Thursday or early morning to the lightning flashes and the thunder. I didn't expect that. That kind of came in out of nowhere, but that's the way the weather does in Oklahoma. So anyway.
does.
All right, Dion. Well, thank you, sir. Have a great week.
You too.
Okay.
Okay, that trivia question still out there. In what year were asphalt shingles invented? If you think you know that answer, give us a call, 405-656-5868. So, Scott, speaking of the nice weather the past week, what else did you get any work done? I guess
Well,
is what I wanna know.
we did. I mean, it was truly nice, at least from my standpoint. I don't know that the crews thought it was so nice because they were kind of sucking wind.
Right.
You know, this was one of those weeks that, first really, really hot. You almost say hot, more than warm.
Yeah.
Pretty heavy humidity, and
Right.
I mean, they were sucking wind. I
Yeah.
mean, they were feeling the heat because they're not acclimated to it yet.
Right.
We get along here in the next month, 6 weeks or so, and they won't miss a lick. But right now, kind of catches them off guard, and they've got to prepare for it, keep them hydrated, and keep them
we
cool.
kind of
So
jumped from winter to summer.
we did, but we got a lot of work done. We got another flat roof knocked out. Got a couple shingle roofs done and a lot of repairs. Michael, the daylight doctor,
Yeah.
had a bang up week doing installs and things. So
Good.
so we're really, really happy about the weather cooperating with us a little bit. Now, as we talked about last week, I'm not really. It's way too early to say that storm season is over.
Right.
We don't really have significant storms on the horizon next week, Dion.
No.
Okay, and even looking at as much as 30 days, the modeling just doesn't necessarily show significant weather. But as we say, this is Oklahoma, so.
Right.
A lot of adjusters' appointments.
Right.
The little bit of hail and the wind that we had a couple of weeks ago. As I mentioned last week, that gives people a current loss date. People who maybe had waited too long, who should have filed a claim earlier and hadn't done it. This now gives them, quote unquote, a fresh loss date to use, so they're able to get their adjusters out and get those roofs. I know we were successful in getting any number of roofs bought this last week, so that'll start building our pipeline, our production line.
Good.
So that's about it. I know Dion was out with the daylight doctor a couple of times, helping him out, taking some
Yes.
pictures, making sure we get some reviews and raving fan stuff going on out there. And we're really tickled about the way that's working out. We have a new van. We have our daylight doctor van will be
boy.
arriving sometime next week. It was supposed to have been to the upfitter this week, but the transporter couldn't get it there. So it'll be next week sometime. But anyway, so yeah, exciting stuff. What's going on with you?
Well, Carpenter Square Theater electricians have finally returned.
All right.
And,
All right.
He didn't get a whole lot done yesterday. There'll be two of them coming back on Monday, and they tell me that they're just there now to finish the job, and they can't wait to get it all done. Both of these guys have some theater in their backgrounds.
Oh, really?
wow.
in high school and other family members, so they've both done a lot of they've been backstage a lot.
Okay.
And they're looking forward to being in the audience and admiring their work from the comfortable seats.
That sounds good.
So we're anticipating September. We're looking at officially starting the season in September. I was hoping to be able to get a play out this summer. Just
Right.
But we've been more delays, and I think September may be the time we do it.
So once the electricians are done, what's going on after that?
Well, that's pretty much it. Once the electricians are done, then there's other work that we have to do inside the theater, but that's the big thing, is getting the house lights done, the stage lights installed. The big push to start with is getting the new service panels
Oh, yeah.
activated.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's going to take some time.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're doing. Hey, we have to go to break.
Okay.
It is time for us to take our first break. Act 2 will be back in just a moment. I want to remind everybody you're listening to Home Repair McRoof Style on the McRoof Radio Network. I'm Rick Allen Lippert. He's restoration specialist and Hall of Fame remodeler Scott McCullum. Our number, 405-656-5868. Do you happen to know when the asphalt shingle was invented? If so, give us a call. This is the McRoof Radio Network.
Folks, Brad's Heat and Air has been serving the greater metro for almost 40 years. They install and service all brands of heating and air conditioning equipment, and they're a certified American Standard dealer. You may not have known that Brad's also installs April Air central air cleaners as part of your home's central HVAC system. If you're tired of seeing the dust around the house minutes after you have cleaned and dusted, the pet dander or the pollen is killing your allergies. If you have any of those issues, talk to Brad about the April Air system. You'll have a healthier home environment with less pet dander, less smoke, less pollen, less mold and dust mites, and you'll just breathe easier. Call Brad's Heat and Air at 405-799-7823. That's 405-799-7823, or visit them online at bradsheatandair.com. Tell them McRoof sent you.
Hey, Scott, I have folks tell me all the time that they can't find anybody out there to inspect their roof or to just fix a leak. You started Roof RX to remedy that issue, didn't you?
Well, I did. Roofers are in the business to replace roofs. They're not in the business to inspect, repair, or maintain them.
So what's so different about Roof RX then?
Well, Roof RX is a standalone company totally separate from McRoof. The inspectors are trained professionals armed with knowledge and technology. They are not roofing salespeople. Our repairs are guaranteed for life, and we offer a money-back guarantee.
Wow, that sounds great, but I'll bet you're booked up for months out.
No, sir, we're generally no more than a week or so out, and of course we get on emergencies a whole lot faster than that. Get on our list by calling Carly at 405-877-ROOF or online at roof-rx.com.
Hey, Rick, this is something that Roof RX is really proud of. This is our presentation of a Daylight Doctor.
Daylight Doctor.
Daylight Doctor. The Daylight Doctor's prescription for your dark home.
Ooh.
Okay, our Solitude daylighting systems bring pure natural light to brighten even the darkest spaces, and for a fraction of the cost of a traditional skylight. We can install your Solitude daylighting system in about 2 hours. That's right. We can prescribe and cure your home in about 2 hours. The Daylight Doctor can remedy your dark kitchen, those bathrooms or hallways. Take advantage of the 26% solar tax credit and save today. Visit OKCSkylights.com or call 405-977-5483 to schedule your free house call. Free house call. Again.
From a doctor.
From a doctor. Visit OKCSkylights.com or call 405-977-5483 and get the prescription and cure today.
Homer Stacy was a wholesome, good American kid from Texas. At the age of 18, he enlisted in the United States Army and was stationed at Fort Bliss, Texas. Homer was fascinated with aircraft, so he went to flight school and became an Army Air Corps pilot. Homer Stacy was the pilot of a Convair B-24 Liberator, the Yankee Doodle Dandy. November 11, 1943, Homer and his crew, along with 31 other bombers, flew a mission to destroy a ball bearing plant in occupied France. On the return trip, a mechanical failure caused the plane to drop out of formation, leaving the Yankee Doodle Dandy vulnerable, and shortly thereafter, 7 German Me-109 shot the plane down near Andano, Italy. 4 crew members were killed on board. The others parachuted. 1 was captured and taken prisoner. Homer was among the remaining 5 who made it to Switzerland and returned to duty. Homer Stacy survived World War II, the Korean War, and retired after 21 years of service with numerous awards and citations, not to mention the Purple Heart. Homer Stacy. Homer Stacy McCullum. Scott McCullum's dad. Scott McCullum is McRoof. McRoof is owned and operated by the McCullum family, an honorable, trustworthy red, white, and blue family. If you want to improve or repair your property, Call 855-766-3405. Ask for a no-cost roof assessment and home inspection. That's McRoof, 855-766-3405. That's McRoof.
And Home Repair McRoof Style, back on the air for Act 2 of today's program. I'm Rick Allen Lippert. We're live in studio with restoration specialist and Hall of Fame remodeler Scott McCullum. Also sitting in, McRoof.us meteorologist Dion Markham. Hey, obscure historical trivia. On this date in 1607, the first English colonists established the first permanent English settlement in America at Jamestown. What they didn't know was that they landed amidst the worst drought in 800 years. Talk about unlucky. Quite a few years later, on this date in 1787, delegates gather in Philadelphia to draw up the U.S. Constitution. And then in 1804, you've heard of the Lewis and Clark expedition? Well, it was on this date in 1804 that those guys set out from St. Louis, commissioned by Thomas Jefferson, to go out and see what you find, guys. And then, then I couldn't help myself. I tried to limit to 2 or 3 events on this date in history for this break, but I couldn't help myself. 1878 on this date, Vaseline was granted a patent. Where would we be today without Vaseline? 405-656-5868. Do you happen to know what year the asphalt shingle was invented? If you do, give us a call, 405-656-5868.
Now, I said it again, just to give everybody another hint. Certainteed, our premium, premier, preferred manufacturer, Certainteed, where quality made certain, satisfaction guaranteed, has been around since 1904. So I would assume that asphalt shingles may have been invented before 1904, although asphalt shingles are not the only thing that Certainteed does.
Right.
So, okay.
Hey,
I
Scott,
wonder
I
if
have
Trevor would know the answer to this question.
this is not asphalt shingle related, but
Okay.
it is home repair.
Okay.
I had quite an adventure earlier this week as it heated up. And it all started, I was in Las Vegas a couple weeks ago. And before we left, we had really cool weather.
Right.
And while I'm working at the house trying to get things done, some projects out the door, my wife goes out into the backyard with the loppers I had given her for Christmas, bless her heart, and she attacked some vines that were climbing over this big ornate fence that we have in the backyard near the air conditioners.
Okay.
Well, this one particular string of vine gave her resistance, so she gave it an extra oomph, and then we go to Las Vegas. We come back, and the AC's not working in the bedroom, and
it wasn't a vine?
so I replaced the thermostat batteries, and it's still not working, and the fan is coming on. It's blowing, but it's only blowing air from the other. I finally get the guy out, and he brought a helper, an apprentice. It took them an hour or so of after checking everything.
Right.
So then they go and start checking the thermostat line that typically is buried. It's just not in our place. And finds that it had a really clean cut on it. And it was brown. It looked like a vine.
Well, I don't want anybody to feel bad about that. I was using the hedge trimmer at my house.
Yeah.
And managed to cut the AT&T cable going into the house. Managed to cut that. The guy laughed when he came out. He says, happens all the time.
I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does.
But I wasn't using a lopper. I was using an electric hedge trimmer. So anyway,
And
that's
the
fun.
fact is, my wife even said, I remember giving that one an extra oomph because it was so tough.
That's funny. That is funny.
Let's see, what else did I want to mention about the theater? Carpenter Square is doing another radio play next weekend. It's a Fibber, McGee, and Molly. And for those of you who may know or may not know, the Fibber, McGee, and Molly radio show was the most popular show back in the 30s and 40s and even into the 50s.
Yeah, Dion doesn't know who that is.
And this radio show really created the model that's still used today for this situation comedy.
Yep.
And so we have a pair of actors playing Fibber, McGee, and Molly. We've done 3 of these in the past. We're doing another one. This one's called Fibber Puts on a Happy Face. You know, Fibber is not the smartest guy. He's not the brightest bulb on the marquee.
Sharpest tool in the shed.
Yeah, and he reads that a positive attitude will change everything and improve your life. So his new thing is to just always be happy.
Okay.
And so hijinks ensue as various people knock on the door. And there was a gag in that radio show about a very overstuffed closet. And Fibber and it just started by accident. It was only meant to be a one-time gag where Fibber opens the closet to get
And
something
everything
out.
falls
and
out
all
on-
of this stuff just pours out. Now remember, it's on radio, so
Right,
it's just the
right,
sound
right.
of all kinds of stuff falling out. And it was so popular with audiences that it was incorporated into other episodes. It wasn't in every episode. I will, spoiler alert, tell you that our director, Rhonda Clark, has found a way to put it in this one, so Fibber gets to open the closet.
So when are you doing this one?
It'll be next Friday and Saturday night on the Carpenter Square Theater YouTube channel at
Okay.
7 p.m.
Very
Live
cool.
from the RK1 studios, where Retro Radio Randy is the guy. It's
Yeah,
his studio.
absolutely.
All right, so that's enough for me.
Okay.
Let's get back to what you were doing. Let me try to get the phone to ring one more time. If you think you know what year the asphalt shingle was invented, and we'll give you a hint, it was before 1904.
I thought he was telling us he had a trivia question answer.
No, give us a call, and that number is 405-656-5868.
Hey, I had a call from our good friend Jerry not a call, I had a text from our
Okay.
good friend Jerry last week. And Jerry said that, Scott, I really appreciate everything that you do on the show, and, you guys talking about your premium and luxury asphalt shingles and things like that. But he said he just didn't think that we were talking enough about metal roofs. And he is so enamored with his metal roof that we put on his home. And he really feels like that we should talk about metal roofs more often than we do. We should make sure that people understand the benefits of the metal roof, that people understand not only the benefits from an economic or a functional standpoint, benefits for our environment as well.
Right.
So in deferring to Jerry, I told him I would try to have someone on the phones this week to talk a little bit about metal roofs, but I couldn't get that set up. So I'm going to talk about metal roofs and the things that people need to know for a couple minutes, if we've got
Okay.
a couple minutes, Rick. So first of all, people will call me all the time and say, hey, how much is this metal roof? And the answer is always the same. I can't tell you how much something is going to cost sight unseen.
Right.
I can tell you what my labor and material costs and charges to you per square are. That means nothing to us until we know what the conditions of your property are. So one of the things that the industry generally does, most of the people that are in the metal roofing business, particularly the people at the lower end, is they'll always tell people that you can install that metal roof over your asphalt shingles. And what I always say is, absolutely, you can. but it doesn't mean that you should.
Exactly.
Okay? So when we're talking about our metal roofs, whether we're talking about an exposed fastener roof, like the tough ribs, the R panels, the U panels, ag panel is how people would kind of, the things they're used to seeing on the barns and things like that,
Right.
okay? Or they're talking about a concealed fastener, which is a simulated standing seam or a true standing seam roof. All of those roofs derive their wind warranties from the way that they are fastened.
Okay.
And number one,
Fastened to the frame of the building.
fastened to the frame of the building or fastened to the roof deck. Some
Right.
metal roofs are over a metal frame of a building
Okay.
and not on actual decking. Okay. But if I've got roofs that have asphalt shingles on them, then I know there's decking underneath them. It's either the old resawn 1x8s, 1x6s, 1x10s, 12s, whatever, or there's plywood or OSB decking. I do not want to install a lifetime roof, and a metal roof is truly a lifetime roof. I don't want to install a lifetime roof over the top of a deck that I don't know what condition it's in.
Right.
So in order to know what condition your deck is in, I have to remove the asphalt shingles and the existing underlayments and everything that are there so that we can inspect and repair your deck before we start installing your new metal roof, okay? Metal roof's going to have a 130 mile an hour wind warranty, assuming that it is laying flat on the metal deck, on the wood deck, and that it is properly fastened. So we use a lifetime fastener. Before we start putting metal panels on, we put an ice and water product on the entire roof to waterproof it. We have a high temperature underlayment underneath the metal panels because when you do a metal roof, it does require a high temperature underlayment, not just a standard underlayment. And then we install your roof, we properly fasten it, and then we put all the accessories on, including our ridge vent, different things like that. So the metal roofs start at the low end of the scale with your ag, what we'll call the ag panel, exposed fastener roofs, start in the $450 to $600 a square range, okay? When you go to a concealed fastener panel, okay, a simulated standing seam, then that price is going to go up, okay, by about 20%.
Okay.
And then when you go to a true standing seam, you're up by about 30 to 40%. And then when you go to a architectural metal shingle like you have on your house, right?
Right, yeah.
Okay, you may be up as much as double the price of that ag panel or
Yeah.
that standard exposed fastener metal roof. So the benefits of the metal roof are that you are going to get a very energy efficient roof. You're going to get a roof that is very wind resistant, properly attached to your home. You're going to have a roof that will resist the hail. You're going to have a roof that will truly last 50, 60, 70, 80. We have pictures all over of roofs in the Northeast that are well over 120 years old.
Wow.
That are metal roofs, okay? So it is an investment.
Right.
Okay? It's something that's going to last. It's going to give you the peace of mind for a long, long time to come. It's not for everybody. If you want a metal roof, and you live in a subdivision or neighborhood, you live in town, then you're probably going to be required by your homeowners association or just out of deference to your neighbors to put something on that maybe looks like slate, tile, shake, asphalt,
Right.
that kind of thing. You're probably not going to do an ag panel roof in the middle of the city.
Probably
okay?
not.
You're probably going to do potentially a standing seam, or you're going to do an architectural metal roof.
And
But
I have seen some standing seam roofs in nice neighborhoods.
absolutely, yeah. The standing seam is that is considered a luxury roof. Okay, and I think that most homeowners associations would approve a standing seam roof, assuming it's the right color. So,
Okay.
okay.
All right. And with that, we'll take our second and final break of today's show. We'll be back with Act 3 in just a moment. I want to remind you, you're listening to Home Repair McRoof Style on the McRoof Radio Network. I'm Rick Allen Lippert. He's restoration specialist and Hall of Fame remodeler Scott McCullum. Our trivia question is hanging out there. Someone's calling right now. I'll have to get to that as soon as I finish talking. Let's see. What am I saying? This is the McRoof Radio Network.
Honoring America's Warriors is an Oklahoma City-based nonprofit that provides military honors and ceremonies, service dogs for disabled veterans, and multiple activities and events for the veteran and their family. When Honoring America's Warriors was established, our first sponsor and supporter was McRoof. Now, years later, McRoof and the McCullum family continue to provide financial support to Honoring America's Warriors' important programs. To learn more about our mission, go to honoringamericaswarriors.org. Go to honoringamericaswarriors.org today.
Rick, once again, the Roof RX Company is proud to present the Daylight Doctor.
Daylight Doctor.
Daylight Doctor's the prescription for your dark home. Our Solitube daylighting systems bring pure natural light to brighten even the darkest spaces and for a fraction of the cost of a traditional skylight. We can install your Solitube daylighting systems in about 2 hours. Yeah, 2 hours. We can prescribe and cure your dark home in 2 hours.
Wow, that's amazing.
It is. The Daylight Doctor can remedy your dark kitchen, bathrooms, hallways, and you can take advantage of the 26% solar tax credit. Ask us how today. Visit OKCSkylights.com or call 405-977-5483 to schedule your free house call.
Wow.
Get the doctor in your house. Again, visit OKCSkylights.com or call 405-977-5483. Get the prescription and the cure today.
I'm Dustin Holtz, and I am McRoof. We're looking for the best talent in the roofing and restoration industries to join our team of solutions specialists. Hear what our customers have to say. Here's Johnny.
They were such pleasant young men, set my mind at ease. So thank you so much. I appreciate y'all.
Now here's John.
My hat's off to McRoof for making that happen when nobody else would touch it. You really made a difference in our lives.
And then Dean.
You really know your roofing business and you do quality work. But what sets you apart from other roofers is the people. You treated us just like family.
Want to sell shingles? Go work for another roofer. Want to change people's lives by providing quality solutions? Come join our team. Email me at dustin.holt@mcroof.us. dustin.holt@mcroof.us.
I'm Scotty McCollum, and I am McRoof. The qualities that every McRoof team member possesses are attention to detail, integrity, and a commitment to be an expert in our field. The goal of every McRoof project is to restore a home or business to the fullest extent, and in the process, we try to create a relationship as well as lasting peace of mind. We're not happy if you're not happy.
Replacement done right. McRoof.us, 855-766-3405. And Home Repair McRoof Style back on the air for Act 3 of today's show. I'm Rick Allen Lippert. In studio, live, is restoration specialist and Hall of Fame remodeler Scott McCullum, answering your calls to 405-656-5868. We have Alan on the line. We'll get to you in just a moment, Alan, as soon as I get through a little bit of brief historical trivia. On this date in 1968, the Beatles announced the formation of Apple Corps. It didn't last all that long, but this was the date they created their own company. And then remember the TV show Seinfeld? Back in 1998, on this date was the final two-part episode that aired on NBC of the finale of the show, which everyone universally didn't like because it was so disappointing. All right, so Dion, do we have Alan on the line? Hello, Alan.
Hello, Alan. You're on air.
Alan, are you there?
Yes, I am. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, sir. How you doing today?
All right, good. I cheated. I went Wikipedia.
That's okay. You're calling us from Kansas, right?
No, I'm calling you from Mustang, Oklahoma.
Oh, from Mustang. Okay, sorry about that.
I'm a frequent caller.
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
Well, they weren't used until 1911, but they were invented in 1903.
Okie dokie. Ding, 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 ding. And since you went to Wikipedia, go ahead and tell us a little bit more about it.
I don't know what to tell you. All I know is I got an asphalt roof, and I'm a happy camper.
So,
right? Not only, I got a house up north that I just replaced the roof on with asphalt shingles, and I just got my roof down here. Sorry I didn't call McRoof, all right? But I apologize for that. But,
yeah, we're gonna block your phone number going forward.
All right. Okay, wait a minute. All right, that's okay. All right, you want to do that.
So Henry
I
Reynolds.
That, thank you. Right.
Stay on the line with Rick. Stay on the line with Rick.
All right. Well, I'm going to talk to Rick about buzzing me.
Okay. All right. Talk to him. So in 1903, Henry Reynolds invented the asphalt shingle by taking saturated asphalt mats that were impregnated with granule and cutting them into pieces to make individual shingles. And Alan is correct. It took about a dozen years before they actually got to the point where they had machinery that could cut the asphalt shingles satisfactorily. I think that was probably Bird and Company that got out there, and Bird actually was a company that was at one point in time purchased by Certainteed. So anyway, a little bit of history about the asphalt shingles out there. And
hey, Scott, we need to catch up with what we didn't get done last segment.
What's that, Myrtle?
Yep.
Okay.
This is the portion of the show when we get scary, boys and girls. We call this segment the title of today's scary story. Myrtle, that decking is as soft as butter.
So, we're on these roofs all the time, and every now and then we got to get on a roof that as we're walking across it, we can literally feel the decking wave underneath our feet. Okay, we feel like we're walking on water instead of walking on a roof. And in this particular case, when we got to investigating what was going on, we found out that Myrtle actually had 3/8 plywood. Had 1/4 inch decking. Okay, this was not 3/8 plywood. She literally had 1/4 inch decking that someone had put on her house. We typically are going to use a 7/16 or a 1/2 inch decking as a minimum. And she had 1/4 inch decking on rafters that were 24 inches apart. So she had 1/4 inch decking on 24 inch center rafters. And her roof literally, as you walked across it, you would have sworn that you were walking across sand dunes or across the water. So obviously when we redid Myrtle's roof, she had some decking as we tore off. She had some decking that people had actually stepped through. She had some decking where people had actually not stepped through, but that they had broken all of the structure of the plywood itself. And so she got a redeck, and what we did in her case was we left that 1/4 inch on there because it's safer for my guys in this process to do it this way rather than walking on rafters. We're not carpenters and framers. So.
But what about the 24-inch centers?
The 24-inch centers are fine.
Okay.
Yeah, the 24-inch centers are not a code issue.
Okay.
Assuming that you have the proper bracing, of course, and assuming that you have the proper decking on top of
Right.
it, okay? But quarter-inch decking on 24-inch centers isn't going to cut it.
No.
All right? So we left the quarter-inch decking on, put 7/16 oriented strand board on it, put our diamond deck and our ice and water and her new Northgate roof on, and everything's going to be perfectly fine. Nobody will know the difference, except that her insurance company incurred a cost of about an additional $12,000 for redecking that house. Because the decking that was on there was not up to code. So fortunately, she had code coverage.
Oh, good.
So we know that took care of Myrtle, and now everything's in good shape for her. So
All right.
okay,
Well, so while we're doing segments,
okay.
after the storm, since we have no storms on the immediate horizon,
Okay, so since we have no storms on the immediate horizon, then we assume we are after the storms for the time being. And as we've talked about many, many, many times, you don't reach immediately for the phone to call your insurance company. You reach for the phone to call Roof RX. You reach out to Roof RX for a qualified roof inspection. This inspection will establish a baseline for you as to what kind of condition your roof is in. It will give you a list in priority order of the repairs that you need to accomplish on your roof. We'll give you an estimate of the remaining economic and functional life of your roof so you can value the dollars that you're going to spend in maintaining it. The closer a roof is to the end of its functional life, the less money I want you to spend on that roof to do maintenance things other than those things that are required to keep the water out of your house. In other words, if you had a roof that's going to get replaced soon or must be replaced soon, I'm not going to be talking to you about adding ridge vent. I'm not going to be talking to you about reflashing your chimney and building a chimney cricket.
Right.
I'm going to be talking to you about let's do the bare minimum things that we can do to keep the water and the weather out of your home and get you to the point where you can now get a roof replacement.
Okay.
That's what Roof RX does. That's totally different than the mentality of a roofing salesperson. My people who come out are qualified roof inspectors. They have credentials from Certainty. They have credentials from Hague. They have any number of credentials in their back pocket. They've been well trained and versed. They've been on thousands of roofs, and they know what they're looking at when it comes to storm-related damage. They're going to give you the honest truth about what the condition of your roof is and help you to make the decisions that are in your best interest as to how you want to move forward. If you had a fairly new roof with very minor issues, that we can do a few things to make it even better, add a maintenance plan for you to keep your roof perking year after year after year, then that's what we're going to talk about. So,
and I really like that concept of the maintenance plan. I know I have regular maintenance done on my car. I have a nice
Sure.
car, and
Sure.
I make sure I have the oil changed, tires rotated on a regular basis, following the manufacturer's recommendation. But I had never considered a maintenance plan for my roof.
well, we talk about it a lot. You know, we talk about, you know, the heavy winds and all the stuff that blows. A lot of that ends up on your roof. We talk about the tree branches and leaves and
Right.
all of that kind of stuff that comes down on your roof. That organic matter gets trapped on the roof. If nothing else, it clogs your gutters and downspouts up,
Right.
but it could get trapped in your valleys or behind your chimneys. Places like that where it keeps the water from getting off your roof as quickly as we want it to. So the organic material is a big issue. The winds that we have, that we know what kinds of winds we have in Oklahoma, the roofs need to be inspected to make sure that there aren't any loose tabs, there's not any missing ridge, there's not any flashing displaced in the wind, and there aren't any shingles that are starting to lift with nail pops underneath them. You know, it's really, really simple stuff. It costs next to nothing, and it just continues
Right.
to extend the life of your roof, the function of your roof,
Exactly.
going forward. So it's a really smart thing to do. So anyway, that's the Roof RX: inspect, repair, and maintain. Okay.
I was talking to a friend earlier this week, and I mentioned something about homeowners insurance, and she said, "Oh yeah, I've had the same policy for years," and we were talking about roofs, and I said, "Well, have you checked it to see if they have switched your coverage from replacement cost to actual cash value, and she didn't know what I was talking about.
Yeah, it's you kind of get those deer in the headlight looks or those
Yeah.
blank stares from people when you're talking about this stuff. When I was putting together a program today, I thought, inspect, repair, maintain, and oh, by the way, folks, I have not given you the number. Roof RX 405-877-7663. 877-7663. That's going to start the inspection process, potentially the repair process or maintenance process. If you need a new roof, the Roof RX folks will get you to McRoof, and they can take care of walking you through the process. So,
Yeah, very good.
But what I was thinking in terms of insurance is inspect, repair, and maintain. Exact same thing. Inspect your insurance policy.
Exactly.
What does it say? What is your wind and hail deductible? Is it a replacement cost policy? And if it is, does that replacement cost extend to your roof? Are there provisions for ordinance or law or code coverage in your existing insurance policy? If you don't have or know the answers to those things, you need to go inspect your policy. And if you're not comfortable doing that and understanding what it is that you're looking at, ask somebody else, your agent if you have an agent. If you're with a direct writer company, you don't have an agent. So you're going to have to ask someone you trust to help you look at that policy. Then repair your policy. If your deductible's too high,
Right.
if it's ACV versus RCV, if it's actual cash value or depreciated value versus replacement cost, and you can change it back to replacement cost at an additional cost, consider doing that. And if you do not have ordinance or law coverage or building code coverage, and you can add it to your policy, get it added. That's where your insurance company pays for the decking, the drip edge, the chimney crickets, the flashings, the ice and water, the proper ventilation. If you don't have that coverage, all of the things you have to do to bring your replacement roof up to code are going to come out of your pocket.
And you have an acronym for that.
Oops.
Out of pocket.
Scenario. And yes, that's exactly right.
Yeah, we don't want that.
Yep, that's your oops. So, and some people get really big oops and have just so frustrated and so shocked by it.
Right.
Some people have really big oops and absolutely knew that and had made that decision that they were willing to take the chance on that.
Yeah.
So, it's a decision that you get to make, but make it as an informed consumer.
All right. Well, I would like to thank everyone for listening to the show today. This has been episode number 217 of Home Repair McRoof Style on the McRoof Radio Network. I'm Rick Allen Lippert. He's restoration specialist and Hall of Fame remodeler Scott McCullum. McRoof.us staff meteorologist Dion Markham has been sitting in my seat today pushing buttons as needed. And I just want you to know that it is now time for Dad's Wisdom. All right, Scott.
Okay.
Send us out.
Say what you mean and do what you say. People don't have to like what you say, but they have to know where you stand.
That's right. Hey, everyone, have a safe weekend. We'll see you back next week.
Big softball game this afternoon.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
Bedlam girls going at it over there, 2 o'clock.
Okay. All right. So, Scott, Dion, thank you very much. Thank you, Alan, for calling in. I really appreciate that. We will see you all.
You put him on the no-call list?
Not yet, but I will. See you next week.